Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Teachers of Tomorrow podcast, your one-stop shop for everything education here on ALC. We're your host. I'm Jordan Horn.
And I'm Garrett Reynolds.
And we're joined by our cameraman.
Hey, I'm Nathan Adams.
And we're going to take you through all the wonderful things in regards to teaching here on Pippa Passes. So, Garrett, would you like to start us off by explaining a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for this first episode, we kind of wanted to just talk about ourselves a little bit, since you all are going to have to put up with us for a while. So, what we thought we'd do, we just talk about ourselves and talk about our majors and what brought us to Alice Lloyd. So, to start it off, my name is Garrett Reynolds. I'm a P through 5 elementary school education major. And the reason I wanted to be a teacher is, growing up, I never really knew what I wanted to be. I would always tell people I would be a chef, then an accountant, then an IT worker. I just never really knew. And then 2020, COVID happened. And then me and my little brother were moved into homeschooling. And I kind of adjusted pretty well. I was always kind of used to working by myself, but my brother, he didn't really catch on to it as much. So I kind of started tutoring him. And that's kind of what, unfurled my love of teaching, I guess you could say. It's when I really realized how important a good education is to the next generation. And also just how important it is for someone to have a good teacher. So from that moment on, I kind of decided I wanted to go into teaching. I never really knew a good school to go to. I figured I would just start by going to just my community college, getting my basics done, and then going to EKU. But then my mom, who was actually an elementary school major in the past, told me about Alice Lloyd. And so I applied, and in less than an hour, I got accepted. So that's kind of my journey to coming to Alice Lloyd and what made me want to be a teacher. So Jordan, I guess if you want to go and tell us about yourself.
Okay. So, I'm Jordan. I am a high school English major. This is actually my second year in college. Before this, I went to Big Sandy, and when I was there, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do with my life. It really wasn't until I stopped to think about it, and I toured here at Alice Lloyd, and I fell in love with the campus, and then I took a long, hard reflection at myself and thought all this stuff that I want to do isn't right for me. And I looked in my heart and asked myself what was right for me. And the only answer I could hear calling my name was teaching. And I always have had a passion for English. I've always loved literary themes, all this stuff. And actually wanted to be a writer beforehand. But I realized that I love that, and I love helping kids. I love the feeling of passing your knowledge and your passion onto the next generation. It's truly a feeling that, in my opinion, can't be matched by anything else. But yeah, I'm from Martin, so the Alice Lloyd is pretty close to home. If you don't know where Martin is, it's just 45 minutes away from campus. So I'm really not too far away, but at the same time, Alice Lloyd has given me the opportunity to kind of come into my own and find this wonderful community and explore my passion for teaching and just feel like who I am and who I'm going to be. So, Garrett, would you like to have us talk about a little bit about how the podcast started?
Yeah, so there we were sitting in class. It was just a normal day, and we got a sheet of assignments we could pick for our next big project.
Yeah.
One of them was to make an audio podcast about classroom assessment. And so Jordan came up to me and was like, "Hey, this sounds really fun. We should do it." So we did the podcast, we did all of our research, we turned it in, and about a week later, we got called into the head of the education department's office. We were scared to think we got in trouble.
A little bit.
And the thing is, whenever we went into the office, she said, "Boys, you're in trouble. Because I loved your podcast, and I want you to start making a monthly episode of it." So, here we are. We're starting a podcast.
Yep. Hi, Dr. Sloan. But yeah, it really is such a wonderful opportunity to be able to express our interests, our knowledge, and something I'm excited for is, for context, me and him, we're freshmen here. Yeah. So
Second semester.
Yes, we're spring semester, but we're still freshmen. And I feel like this is a really good opportunity for us to learn along with you. Because we know the questions to ask, because we're still asking them ourselves. But yeah, if you want, we can introduce our cameraman, Nathan.
Hey guys, I'm the cameraman Nathan. I guess I'm gonna talk about like how I became an education major and came to ALC. Basically, I love math. I really love math, and I wanted to be a tutor in high school, so I applied to be an AmeriCorps member for my senior year in high school. And I just loved tutoring the kids. It was really fun, and that's where I found my real passion for it. And then I found ALC. It's really close to home, and it's a small campus, great community. I love everybody here. And so I decided to come here. And like, what Garrett said, I got accepted pretty fast as well, and it was a really good opportunity. This is genuinely an opportunity to school, and I really, really love it. And so yeah, I became a math education major here, and yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here.
But yeah, Nathan here is the one who's also responsible for our lovely intro in the videos. But yeah, now we'll talk about what is to come on the podcast. So you might be asking some of our plans for this podcast, and to answer that, we plan to do a whole lot of things with it. But one of the biggest I feel like that is very important for us to do is to ask the questions that need to be asked, and the people who need to, who have that knowledge, student teachers who are teaching right now, they have experience and they can give us a lot of insightful information. So I'm very excited for that. Garrett, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, something else big we're going to talk about is new legislations that are being passed, different kind of classroom strategies, just pretty much anything based on education.
Basically, if it's education, we're going to go over it because there's so much to talk about, and honestly, one podcast episode can't do it. Yeah. But, we'll talk about a lot of these things. We'll discuss it between ourselves and between our guests, and we'll just try to get this podcast to be the very best thing that we can do. And with that, I think that this first episode is a wrap. Everyone have a good day.